and to help the people around him to be better. That's who he is. He's a mentor and he's a motivator, and he goes out of his way, not only to help his friends, but help a stranger on the road, or an airman in a unit who is homeless and living in a car, and he gets him a job. That's just who Senior Master Sergeant Hartzog is. I do want to take some time to talk a little bit about his time in the IG. I'm not going to talk about all the things he did in the IG because we do not have all day. But he has been assigned to almost all of the branches, I think all but one of the sections that we have within the IG. And he has had his hands in whatever was the biggest, most important thing in that section while he was there. And then when he went other places, still was kind of doing things for everybody else. So whether it was readiness exercise, validations, kind of moving us into the new way that we take readiness assessment and tie it into how we assess the wing as a whole by using we call it a classified readiness assessment. He worked really kind of authored the strategy that we have for inspecting organizations that don't really fit our normal wing structure. How do we take an organization that doesn't look like this, but use this to look at this? And he played a huge role in figuring that out so that we could still help units no matter what structure they are in. And also just with our, we call them continual evaluations, but those are the things we do throughout the year and weeks that help our units to understand what it is they can do better to help their units be successful and ready. So those are just a few of the big projects that I know he accomplished. And all the work he did on these things will continue to influence our operations after he has moved on. In fact, I have a really bad feeling that we're going to start figuring out a lot of other stuff that Hartzog was doing that we didn't even know that he was doing, and he is not the person. Even though I asked him to write it down, he's gonna let us figure it out. I think he's not the person who's like, "Hey, I'm doing this. I do this. I do this," and I have a feeling pretty soon we're going to figure out what he was doing behind the scenes to help our organization run smoothly. And all of these things that he did while he was on the road, a lot. In fact, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think during your time in IG, you conducted inspections at every reserve wing location except Guam. Is that correct? Close? Yes. Close, okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of inspections, there's a lot of places to go, and a lot of work. But I think we're going to Guam potentially in January, so if you want to delay the whole retirement thing, you could probably check that box before you go. Yeah, oh, space A? All right, yeah, I get it. Actually, I do get it. I was actually just saying today that I think I finally figured out why we wear service dress when we do retirement. Part of it is tradition and protocol, but I really think it's because if there's a member who's just not sure, they're on their edge, I'm not sure whether or not I should retire, sitting up here this morning and you can sit and think to yourself, I don't ever have to wear the service dress again. And I think you're going to be pretty confident you made the right decision. So, yeah. Anyway, so Hogg has been in the IG for 10 years, almost 10 years. He is the resident historian, walking continuity book, travel concierge, and truly the backbone of our operations, whether it's what we do on the road or what we do at home. And he's the ultimate team player. I say this all the time about our entire team, and it's true, that nobody is going to let anyone fail. And Hartzog has been a huge part of that mindset as we go through this every day. He mastered every core team role that he was asked to do, and I would venture has probably helped the rest of us get through the ones we've been assigned for all of the roles that we've done too. There's already a hole in the team since he's been out of the office. In fact, we just got back from a trip, and while we were there, I went to Raising Cane's for lunch 2 days in a row, because I didn't have Hartzog there to tell me where I'm supposed to eat when I go to Luton. So, I think one more thing we're going to need for you is your little Michelin book of where all the places places that we need to go when we're TDY, because we're pretty lost without you on those trips. But we'll figure it out, because you've taught us well. The people and the things and the places Hartzog knows have been invaluable to this team and probably to every single person sitting here in this room. And without a doubt has made a lasting impact on Africa as a whole. On behalf of the team, I want to thank you for your dedication and service, and just as importantly, your friendship. I hope that one day you will tell a story and the person you are talking to is in their head thinking, who is this Alicia that he's talking about? All right, so Hog, are you ready? All right, let's do this.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel McRae. At this time, Senior Master Sergeant Hartzog will receive the Meritorious Service Medal. Please stand for the presentation of the award. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal, 1st Oakley Cluster, to Senior Master Sergeant James A. Hartzog for meritorious service from 19 December 2019 to 31 December 2022. Senior Master Sergeant James Hartzog distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Inspector General Directorate. During this period, Sergeant Hartzog executed 29 unit effectiveness inspections, management inspections, and readiness exercise validations, providing a comprehensive assessment of each unit's effectiveness and combat readiness. His unmatched breadth of knowledge contributed to his performance in key inspection team roles, including Major Graded Area Lead, Report Writer, Superintendent, and Emergency Management Functional Inspector. As the lead analyst for wing inspections programs, Sergeant Hartzog accomplished robust continual evaluations for 19 wings. His detailed analysis and counsel were pivotal in helping wings evolve commanders' inspection programs from compliance to effectiveness. Recognized for his functional expertise, he was selected by Headquarters Air Force to develop the inspection roadmap for emergency management programs across the entire Air Force. Lastly, Sergeant Hartzog was invaluable in integrating mission execution and readiness into the unit effectiveness inspection grading construct, providing commanders with an accurate appraisal of readiness and lethality. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Hartzog culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. We will now publish the official retirement order.
Publish the order.
Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC008068, Senior Master Sergeant James Austin Hartzog, effective 31 December 2022. You are relieved from active duty, organization, and station of assignment, and retired from the United States Air Force, effective 1 January 2023. After 29 years, 1 month of faithful and honorable duty per Air Force Instruction 36-3203 in the grade of Senior Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I will now read the Certificate of Retirement from the Air Force Chief of Staff. The Armed Forces of the United States of America, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Senior Master Sergeant James A. Hartzog, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of January 2023. Signed, General Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff. I would like to read the Certificate of Appreciation from the President of the United States. Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States. I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embody the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with great pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joe R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. To accompany the retirement certificate is a time-honored tradition of placing the retirement pin on the member's lapel. I would like to invite Mrs. Huff to come forward and join us for the Air Force Retirement Pin presentation. This pin is to be worn on your uniform with pride. It signifies to everyone that the wearer of this pin has served his country well and honorably. At this time, Chief Master Sergeant retired Robert Byrd will present a gift.
I know it's gonna be that quick.
So I met Austin around 2014. I was augmentee with the IG team, and I actually started with the IG team in 2015. So that's when I really got to know Austin. Like everybody else here has said, Austin probably knows more about the IG than anybody else in this room. But not only that, we both like to eat. So as they were talking about, when we travel, we like to stay away from the chains and find places to go and eat. Our love of sports, especially college football, and also we like to hit a brewery every once in a while or a distillery, check out the local beers and things like that. So Austin, I knew you kind of knew about this because Austin actually had a flag flown over the University of Georgia for my retirement in April, which I thought was pretty awesome. So we kind of hit it back and forth because I knew he wanted one flown over Clemson, and so we talked about it. And I'd already had it set up and worked it out. And Austin goes, I'd like to have my grandfather's flag flown over Clemson. His grandfather was a World War II veteran, and he graduated from Clemson University. So we mailed that flag to Clemson. I was so nervous about mailing that flag to Clemson. We mailed that flag to Clemson, and it's sitting there. There's the flag, Austin. So I went ahead and had it framed for you. But I also had the certificate and where it was flown over framed for you also. So,
He also wrote a very nice letter to the university and emailed the director, the athletic director specifically to request it be done.
So my other part of it that I was working on, and I guess I waited too late and kind of dilly-dallied around, but again, Austin and I are big sports fans and college football fans. I don't know if anybody else here in the room has been to two college football games in one day, but Austin and I have been to Clemson and the University of Georgia in the same day, and not only did it once, we've done it twice. So, again, big sports fans, and again, I don't know how many people know all about Austin sports. If you're on the IG, you probably do. Of course, he's a Clemson fan, and so I got him an autographed picture of Ben Bolwer, right? So Austin's also, his NFL team is the Washington Redskins, or Commanders now, excuse me. And his baseball team is the lost to LA Dodgers. So we've been to Dodger Stadium a couple times, traveling with Dodger team. So I also got your Mark Griffin autograph, 8x10, and I have your oral Hershiser, but for some reason it hasn't come in the mail yet. So I got those for you.
Very cool.
Anyway, Austin, and love you. We did a lot of stuff together, and I hope we still keep doing a lot of stuff together. We've been to Kentucky Derby together. Like I said, the Dodgers game, the Clemson Georgia games. We're headed to Mississippi State Saturday with go see Georgia play Mississippi State. So we're trying to visit all the stadiums there too. So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now Colonel James Long will present a gift.
Okay, so I first met Hogg, well, I walked into the IG a year and a half ago, and the first thing that came out of his mouth is, what college football team do you like? And being a University of Miami guy through and through, it made for a natural relationship as an ACC, Clemson, and as a matter of fact, in 10 days, I hope to be really trash talking, although after last weekend, I'm not so sure on either team, but we'll take it wherever it goes. But I can only echo what Alicia said, Chief said. He is the helper of all helpers. I mean, you name it, he jumps in. Part of it is how long he's been here, but more is it's his heart. It's his personality. It is who he is through and through. Is he wants to be there to help folks. Whether it be going on the road, whether it be food places. I mean, heck, we went to Tinker, and just to parlay that sports thing, we had to go see the Dodger AAA team play at Oklahoma City. You had to go see a college football game, even though it was OU. And no one likes OU, sorry. I mean, it's part of just Hogg. I learned a ton from you over the year and a half I've been here with you. Thank you for everything you did for the inspections division, on the road with us, on the road with me, showing me the ropes, how we do it. So if anyone was at Sergeant Prather's last week, sorry, it's a redo of the same two gifts, but they're very appropriate for a retirement. And for those that weren't there, I will discuss them. So I'm a book guy, and there are two books. One is called Try. Why Try? If you don't know the book, please read it. I bought like 30 copies over my years so far. It is why we serve. It gets to the core of who we are and why this is hard, why he is getting emotional as we go out the door. Being in the Air Force is something special. You're a part of this tribe. This sort of gives you some of that insights of why you're feeling what you're feeling. Tied to that, though, I found a book, and I have it at the house, and I think it's very appropriate, very good. It's called Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. And you're like, holy crap, what the heck? But let me just, it's like a table book type thing with illustrations and some good sayings. So I'm just going to read three. And it says, I want to change the world, said Tiny Dragon. Start with the next person who needs your help, replied Big Panda. And I thought that was very appropriate for Hogg, because that's who you are. Here's another one, thought it was a little more humorous. Hurry up, Big Panda, we're gonna be late. Big Panda sat down. I like to think I'm creating anticipation. And then finally, we're in autumn. And it says, can you hear the wind in the trees, Tiny Dragon? That's nature's way of telling us to take a moment to stop, breathe, and just be. And I can't think of anything more appropriate this time. Thank you for everything you did for us, and good luck.
Thank you, Colonel Long. At this time, Colonel retired Randall Bright will now present a gift.
I think I started a trend here some time back, and I've been asked to repeat it here today. We're missing a few things. One, we're not in the wing, where I would have this authority that I used to have. Second, unfortunately, you're not sitting in a chief's billet for me to be able to exercise this authority. Plus, I'm retired and old now, so I still don't have the authority. But once upon a time, throughout my career, I've signed a lot of Air Force Form 224's promotion orders. Well, this one's not worth much more than the paper it's printed on. but it comes from the heart. If I had a chief billet, if we were still in a wing where I had this authority that I used to have, I'd make you the chief, because you definitely earned it. So, here's something for you to put someplace. There's a 224 that I actually sign like I used to sign, and a pair of chief stripes to go with it. So, Chief Master Sergeant Hogg, congratulations.
Thank you. At this time, Colonel retired Scott Winter will now present a gift.
All right, I'm gonna use your podium only because you have better light. I don't wanna do like Colonel Wagner and see what I'm saying. Bear with me. Hello, family. Do y'all call him Hog? Austin? It's Hog. We're just gonna get y'all in that same loop with the rest of us. He is what I call the OG of the IG. So it's an honor to be up here. I know of no one who knows more about what we do in this business than him. The first award is kind of a simulated award because I don't actually have the flag with me. It's on the desk, but we're going to make sure it's framed up for you. It says this is to certify that the accompanying American flag was flown on the dates below aboard an F-15E, a C-5M, and a C-130J over Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. The reason this is, you'll see a lot of flag stuff up here today, and that couldn't be more appropriate. Hog is about the most patriotic dude I have ever met. He served for the right reasons, and he served for the airmen. I don't know anybody that's helped more airmen or had a bigger impact in this command than the dude standing up here wiping his eyes. And I say that in all seriousness. Retirement is a very tough thing, brother. It is. Taking that uniform off the last time, but you have damn well earned it. Let's take a picture of this one. I have one more award.
Okay.
One last. Can I call you Big Panda from now? So the last one is another group from the entire IG has been sitting up here, and it'll probably be sitting here 3 weeks from now because it's too heavy to move. But we want to give you a shadow box reflective of your career. And I don't know that if I stood up here for an hour that I could honestly tell you how much I appreciate the things you've done, not just for me, but for the IG family and for this command. So brother, I greatly appreciate you. Take a picture over here by your shadow box.
All right, the floor is yours.
I guess I'll presentations first. Alan tried to do it yesterday. Where the flowers fall? So I wrote out everything I had to get done, and he's reading everything I had to get done, and second right from mom. She's like, I had something for you, but I didn't bring it. I did write something down because I thought I'd get up there and forget what I wanted to say. Brent, at least one person in here already knows what I'm going to say because I sent a reading for him. When I randomly made it up right in front of him, and she wanted to repeat that. And we were talking about what did you say? And I still did a great job at mine. I go to pay luncheon. And I told you to grab a round when I'm doing this, I've got something to do. Anyway, like I was telling Chief Waters that she did a great job, and I was like, that was probably the one time, because most of y'all don't know, I do enjoy talking. So, but that was the one time that I think I was at a loss for words. Probably the one time in my life that I was at a loss for words was at my going away luncheon. And I was like, I just couldn't like get my thoughts together, so I thought I'd write them down. And I'm gonna try to paraphrase and go off my notes. So as I thought about what I wanted to say, I should say something, should summarize my career, but y'all kind of already done that one. I wanted to say something profound, and well, that's just not really me. So then I thought about, some of y'all don't understand this one. I wanted to say something about how we need to make sure, because all y'all are at AFRC or at a little above a unit for the most part, so how we should make sure that we're trying to help the airmen below us to continue improving their processes and making sure they're the best version they can be, and to make sure we can keep going forward with defending Fortress America. That's the part I think a few of y'all know. But again, I didn't want to talk about that because that's already all been said. So during the conversation, a lot of So during our conversation, a lot of things have been said about friends, coworkers. It dawned on me. I joined the Air Force coming out of small town South Carolina, not knowing what I would expect in this and what I would get out of it. So, as I joined the Air Force, went to basic training, met a lot of great people there. I actually still keep in touch with a few of those now. I got Seymour Johnson and met my brother, well, a few of them that I call brothers. And some of my best friends still today. Progressed to Charleston, actually worked for Colonel Bright in Charleston. He was the OG commander and used to call occasionally to say, I need somebody to help. I see her in class talk. So at his request, I stood in the Yankee Auditorium teaching, was it A phase or A?
You're asking me a big question.
Yeah. So anyway, teaching all the air crew, just me standing up there, teaching, or standing on the back of the C-17 while people are getting ready to fly out the door, teaching classes to make sure everybody was ready. And still have a lot of friends from there. Went to A4 and have a lot of friends from there, 22nd, so been a few places and I get to IG. With everywhere I go, I've been able to learn something from each and every one of you, and that's how I'm brought in to be part of my family. I hope I've been able to give something to each one of you the way I want. I've taken something from each one of you to so far go from being my immediate family to my Air Force family. So with that, thank you.
The men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with Senior Master Sergeant Austin Hartzog and assure him that he will always be a valuable member of the Air Force. We wish him and his family every success in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to present to you Senior Master Sergeant James Austin Hartzog, United States Air Force, retired. This concludes today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party. Please stay, congratulate Austin and his family, and join them for cake and refreshments. Additionally, there will be an evening reception tonight at 5:30.